Thank you.
What did I think it was? I thought it was like 1.4 something. Negative. Who is it?
Negative 2.
I was way off.
3150.
Never trust me. 2.32. All right. Does that sound right? Everybody else? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be. So again, just the visual of this, and the real reason why I call it Z star is where did it fall? It fell
in the rejection zone.
down there. I like the reason. It fell in the rejection zone. Yeah, I know what you're trying to say. So can somebody tell me what the p-value would be? We haven't done enough of these here. The p-value is the area where?
Under the Z-star?
Under the z-score you found. I like it. So alpha is the area in the z-score that sets up the rejection region. P-value is the area in the area that my z-score sets up. All right, I eventually spit that out. So if you look up negative 2.32. Yes. Look at negative 2.32. I get 0.0102. I like it. So our p-value is 0.0102. And just to really hammer this home, is the p-value less than alpha? Yes, 0.0102 is less than 0.05. Check. So that was the other way to check. If the p-value is less than alpha, you can reject the null, support the high. Right? See, it's the same answer, but the reason the p-value is important, so some of you guys might be like, and this is the way I was when I first did, because I'm total math, right? So when math doesn't care which way you do this, I was like, well, you already know the answer from this. I knew that already. But the p-value is what's most important. Because if I said I passed a test at the 0.05 level, is that as good as passing it at the 0.02 level, for example? Is it easier or harder to pass a 0.02 level versus a 0.05 level? Each of you guys get this. What do I mean by easier or harder? 0.02 level versus 0.05 level. 0.02, I have to get further away, don't I? 0.05 level, I don't have to get as far away. So 0.02 level would be a more significant test level of significance. That's why we call it that. Holy shit. Right? You guys kind of with me? So if I only say it passed, I don't get to see how much it passed that test really good. It would have been able to pass a 0.02 level even, right? But if I just say I passed a 0.05 level, people are like, it could have been 0.049 for all we know. But if I report this number, then people can make up their own minds and they can see exactly how strong my test was at the end. If you guys understand. So very often in articles, you'll only see p-values given. They're not going to have alphas because they want you to make up your own mind. They want you to have your own alpha. What's good enough, what's not good enough. I did show you that one where they had the table and they said p less than 0.05 assumed significant, but even then you can look at it and make up your own mind if it's significant or not. Let me stop there for a second. Because again, can anybody, this is where we're going to get weird. Can anybody tell me what that actually means? It means that there's a 1% chance I made a type 1 error. There's a 1% chance that it could have, because how often, if that really is the middle, how often will something show up that far away? About 1% of the time. Something will show up in that area 1% of the time. Well, how do I know that? Because there's 1% area in there, isn't there not? That's what the p-value is. It's the area in the tail. So how often will something show up here? 1% of the time. So now what are we going to do? What's the conclusion? Not the full-blown out, but what's the short thing I can say here? Considering where we ended up and this fact, what can I say? Do we reject or fail to reject? We rejected because we got into the rejection region. We reject the ho. We support the high. Right? So remember, if I reject this, that means the mean is not equal to 50,000. It looks like it's actually, I'm on the total wrong side of this picture, so I'll be over it. Blah, blah, blah. That means it's not actually here. We think it's lower than that, right? But if it is actually there, 1% of the time I'll get a sample in here. So I feel pretty good. What's more likely then is that the mean is in the wrong place. But there's a 1% chance I'm wrong. And normally the chance I'm wrong is much higher than that. So I can live with a 1% chance of being wrong. Right? That was a joke just for me. I like it. Alright, cool. So you don't need this to actually answer the question, because they're almost always going to tell you alpha. And the book even tells you if they don't say alpha, you assume it to be 0.05, because that's the one that's most often used. You don't need this to answer it, but you can calculate it, and that's what's reported in articles and journals and studies online, that you report this so that everybody can have their own alpha and see if it's a 0.02. Would that be okay? For some people, yes. For some people, no. You can make up your own mind. Maybe. Perhaps. Quizás. No, that's a Mexican. I know it sounds like I'm saying quizás, but where's my Spanish speakers? There's a nice song. It's quizás. Okay. So what's our conclusion, and how do I word that? We have. In fact, let me just say it again. Which one was our claim? The whole. So which language am I going to use? This language. So we have found, because we made it. We have found sufficient evidence. Do what? To reject the claim. That what? Oh crap. I don't know. I used to know, Jeff. Oh shoot, I want to show you. What page were we on? Oh, here it is. We found sufficient evidence to reject the claim that the Lux tires average at least. You can just take it right out of the freaking problem. Don't put to reject HO. No, just look at the problem and take the wording right from the problem. To reject the claim that the deluxe tire averages at least at least 50,000 miles before needing to be replaced. So what does that mean in more real-world talk? The tire brand, the person that made this claim, it seems to me we found evidence that that person full of it. I love it. Exactly.
So then he would do his own study and take another
Possibly,
sample
but we trust that obviously even less. If you do your own study, I'm not going to believe you, right? So if this was like an independent, hopefully this is an independent body that went and did their study, I'm going to trust them. So they better stop saying that in their commercials, right? Unless they make their tires a little bit better. Yes.
Can you help me what the 46,500 means?
So that was just the sample data that we used to test the claim.
Okay.
What's the actual mean then? What's the actual mean?
50,000.